Ray. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time!
Welcome back to another episode of Software Explorations. Today is Sunday, May 12th, 2024. We are going to get into Terraform, but first and foremost, I want to wish every mother out there a happy Mother's Day from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all the work and effort that you put in to raising up these crazy little kids. All right. So shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to you all. All right. So today we're going to be working on Terraform. We're going to be looking more into the Route 53 thing, going to be troubleshooting, trying to figure out what the heck is going wrong with our routing. I already do have the application started up. And last week when we started up, it was giving us some error page. I started up already earlier today, and it loaded up the site through the load balancer URL, but it's still not working when we're trying to use the subdomain. I have an idea why, but got to figure out how to fix it. All right. So I'm not even sure if I introduced myself. If you don't know who I am your host of the channel and of the show. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. All right, that is what we do here. We focus on winning. You see, it's right there, engineered to win. All right, so like I said, we're going to get back into our Terraform stuff from last week, trying to troubleshoot all that good stuff. I have my brother in the chat already. We got Yakar saying salute to you as well, Yakar. Always showing love, always showing support. You gotta love it. So we are going to continue with that. It's going to be a lot of troubleshooting, trying to figure out how to get it to work right. And then once we figure out how to get it to work right by playing around in the console, then we can go back to the Terraform code and do it there. So that's why I say our guy Ferris, he is working through AWS project on his channel, and I was saying to him that, after you get a good understanding of the AWS console, then you can start going to apply these things through Terraform. And with AWS, there is so much different things in AWS, right? But for instance, when we first got started in Terraform, we were playing around with creating the EC2 instances, stuff like that. So we figure out how to create it that's probably the first thing you do in AWS, if you're learning AWS. So then we're like, all right, how do we create these EC2 instances with Terraform, and then we just go from there. And then as we've been building along the way, we would figure out, okay, what do we need to do to get our application running on AWS? And then how do we, whatever we did manually in the console, how do we transfer that over to the Terraform code? And that's what we've been doing. And now, like earlier today, I did Terraform up, about Docker. I did Terraform apply, and then it spun it up and it's able to load. Once we get into the show, I will show into the coding portion. I will show you what's loaded, and then I will explain to you what we're going to be working on. All right. So that is the overall plan for today. And then we have our little conversations, we have our fun, all that good stuff in between. So with that being said, let's get into our agenda. Like I already said, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I want to say thank you so much to all of the newest subscribers, as well as the subscribers who have been with me for so long, always supporting, always showing love.
I appreciate you.
All right. And salute to the tech barbarians. We're just about to wrap up another sprint. After our show today, I'm going to jump on a Scrum Night call with them, where we're going to be wrapping up our sprint from this past 2 weeks, getting ready to start up a new sprint. We do our sprint review, our retrospective, and our planning for our next sprint. And we're putting in the work. We're going to run it up. This is what we do here. All right. Now, let's get into our live show schedule really quick. We have our morning shows, Coffee and Kata, on Mondays and Wednesday mornings. Mondays I start around 7:45 as the Techniche Tip show is going off. I start up my show. It's like a little after party. And we review some news on Mondays. We always review the numbers to look out for the week, because we are going to be reviewing those numbers on Saturday to make sure we break it down, understand it. Yesterday we looked at the consumer sentiment report, and we got some good understanding on that. We looked at the jobless claims again, and then we also looked at the M2 report, which stands for, correct me if I'm wrong, your car, but your car taught me this yesterday. I just want to make sure I get it right. M2 is the money that we have on hand, cash that we have on hand as a country. And we compared that to the debt clock, and we saw that we are short about $34 trillion. Is that right? Are we short? No, we're short about $14 trillion, right? So, like your daddy said, about my money, don't be looking silly when I come asking about my money, right? So we got to do better. We got to do better as a nation. Let's get our finances together, because the credit card companies will not let us get away with this. So we should not let our country get away with this. All right. So that being said, that is so I just hit 3, right? I hit the morning shows, Mondays, Wednesdays, and we have Saturday mornings where we go over our weekly numbers. Saturdays we start around 9:15 a.m. Mondays 7:45 a.m. Wednesdays 7:15 a.m. And then we have Sunday afternoons, software explorations today, where we are working our way through Terraform. And then once we're done with Terraform, we're going to transition right into DevOps as a whole. Very, very important fields. Tuesday nights we have our Q&A session. Come join us. We have so much fun on the show, answering different questions. I answer your questions in the chat. The link is open to call in and ask me a question if you want to do so. And we find questions from around the internet. I have a bunch of questions already that is staged for this coming Tuesday night. So we're going to have a great time. We sing, we dance, we answer questions, we get technical, we have fun, but we put in the work. We put in the work first, and then we have fun doing it. All right. And then Thursday nights, we have more software explorations. We've been working our way through API testing. This past Thursday, we wrapped up talking about how to do API testing in JavaScript with Node, Mocha, Chai, and Supertest. API testing that way we did before that. We did API automation testing with Java and Rest Assured. And then before that, we used Python and the REST library. This coming Thursday, I'm going to see which one we're going to do, because I wanted to do Postman and Newman. I guess we could do that. I'm not really fond of automation through Postman, but a lot of people do it, and I've never really done it myself, but I can look into it. So we might do that, and then next week we'll probably move on to some other type of automation. Or maybe this Thursday we'll do the karate framework. I'll probably go with karate. You know what? Scratch Postman. I'm gonna go with karate, because that one is pretty cool too. It uses a BDD style of format, and as we get into our pre-recorded content, we're going to be talking about BDD this Wednesday anyways, right? So those are our live shows. It's on the channel. I schedule the shows way in advance, so you can always be ready to tune in. Hit the notification button so you can know when we're going live, all of that good stuff. All right. Now let's jump into our pre-recorded content. So where we premiere shows, right? So we have Mondays Candid Conversations. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about why I gave up. Yes, I gave up. Why did I give up? Because you guys aren't serious enough, right? You guys come to me and say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that," and I'm like, "All right, this is what it takes." And then I don't know. I don't think so. So because you gave up on yourselves, I am giving up on you. How does it go? Many will come, but few are chosen. And that's the situation that you put yourself in. When you are more serious, then we will get to it. But until then, I'm giving up on you just because you gave up on yourself, all right? Wednesdays, we have software explorations. We're going to be talking about behavior-driven development, giving an overview on that. We're going to get into all the nitty-gritty details about behavior-driven development. Someone asked me in the comments maybe a month ago about behavior-driven development, and now we have a full presentation on it. So check it out. Very, very important stuff. And then Fridays, we have the Bug Bite. This coming Friday, I'm going to be talking about gamifying your coding and learning experience. It's a strategy that I've been doing for a very, very long time. This article talks about it more from a cybersecurity perspective, I believe, or it might be more of a software development perspective. I don't remember exactly, but it is my approach. Like you can see it on the channel. Like we're making it fun. We're setting timers. We're having these nice, cool sound effects. The way that I work on this channel, like the way that you guys see me work, that's the way I work. That's the way that I work at work. Like I'm always like, sometimes like I do something cool and I'll hit the some type of sound to celebrate. You know, I mean, I make my work fun because if you don't do that, then you're gonna be miserable at work, and I don't want to be miserable, right? I don't want to be miserable. So that's that. And then we have our shorts that we drop throughout. I gotta do a better job with the shorts because I still hate shorts. I hate shorts. Like they drive me crazy, but I put them out there. I have a tool to generate them for me, but I just have to be more consistent posting them. And then we have our clips from the Q&A show that come out Monday through Friday. So that's that. All right. That is our pre-recorded shows. And yeah, so let me check the chat real quick. We have your car in the building saying, let's check it out for sure. And we got Antonio Watkins in the building that says, salute to Tech Coach Ralph. Salute to you as well, Mr. Antonio Watkins. All right. So I want to talk about something really, really quickly, right? A little intro, little icebreaker for the show today. All right. All right. So we're going to go with this and we're going to go with that. So I want to talk to you about gatekeepers. I know you guys hear a lot about, people are gatekeeping this industry and that industry and stuff like that. So what are my thoughts on this whole gatekeeping thing? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? So I'm going to say that it depends on what's being gatekept and what are the criterias that is being gatekept. So when you are if you're gatekeeping based on uncontrollable attributes, then I'm like, I don't really pay it no mind. But if we are gatekeeping on standards and quality, then that's a different thing. But then the question is who are the gatekeepers? And I would say, the gatekeepers would be whoever is winning at the moment. And now there's going to be people who are like, I'm just not going to participate. I'm going to do it my way and myself and stuff like that. Well, that's cool. But if you're able to do it your way and everything like that, and you are able to make it popular, and people come to follow your trend, then you're going to become the gatekeeper, and you can say yay or nay to whether someone can be part of whatever it is or not. Or there might be a some type of barrier to entry where you whatever you have to do, you have to prove yourself, So when it comes to gatekeeping, it just depends. For me, I would say like, I don't have a problem with gatekeeping as long as it's based on merit, quality, and standards. And then the people who set that bar, they can always be overtaken by somebody else as well. Whoever does it better is who's going to be in charge. That's the way I see it. That is the way that I see it. So now the question is, these gates, these standards, the quality, should it be raised or lowered? So by raised, it's going to be harder to get in. By lowered, it's going to be easier to get in. Now, the question is, if you lower the gates so that anyone and everyone can get in, then what's going to be the quality of whatever it is that you're putting out there? So let's use tech, right? Let's use tech. If in tech, you lower the bar. Now, anyone can get in and, whatever they come in and they do whatever it is they're doing. What is the quality of product that you're going to be putting out? I would assume it's going to be a worse quality of product. So for me, I'm like, I think that the gates should, as there's more people who are trying to get in, which is just, honestly, it's just capitalism, right? As more people are trying to get in, the gates are going to be raised. Because it's going to be tougher to get in. The same way, like you see house prices continue to go up, it's harder to buy a house. Because the interest rates are up, the prices of houses are up, because there's a lot more demand. Nowadays, it's kind of going back down the other way. But if it goes back down the other way, then the prices are going to be lowered and stuff like that. When you saturate a market, it's going to be tougher to get whatever it is that you're looking for. So, for instance, the one that I always see, right? Let's talk about QA boot camps, for instance. When you have thousands of people being cycled in and out of boot camps over and over and over, like those companies, they are getting to the bag. But then these people go out into the market and it's like, whoa, the companies now for entry level, they're going to say, all right, well, now that we're getting thousands upon thousands of applications for the same menial job, we have to raise the standards. The bars of the gates have to be raised higher because there's more people trying to get in, and there's only so much that we have. So now, when you go and you're like, okay, well, I know how to write these test cases, and I know how to click around here, and I know how to write a defect report. And the company's like, well, we want you to be able to do some automation code. We want you to be able to troubleshoot some code. We want you to be able to use Docker. We want you to be able to start up application locally. We want you to be able to navigate through Git and all that type of stuff. And you're like, but can I learn that on the job? No, because there are people who are applying who already know how to do it. So why should we choose you over someone else? So that's why I'm saying, like, with the gatekeepers, like whoever is running it at the time is who's going to set the standards. And the gates are going to be getting higher and higher the more that you saturate a market. So for me, based on the criteria for the gatekeepers, whatever they're setting, I think it could be a good thing. If it's being set on something that you can't control, then it's a bad thing. But standards are always going to be raised. The more people come in, the more that's going to be raised, So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. All right. So let me get back to the chat. All right. So we have, let me see. We have Antonio Watkins says, let me in. Hey, as long as you put in the work, I'm like, hey, let's do it. See, that's my only requirement. My only requirement is that you put in the work and then you go out there and get it. Like I come across, like I'll be talking about it tomorrow in the kind of conversation that so many like people will come and then they'll say, oh, I want this, I want that. All right, this is what you got to do. ooh, I thought I had to do is like take this one certification and now I'm good. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. All right. And we got, oh my God. We got Slimmy in the building. What's good, Slimmy? So happy to see you here. Slimmy is so cool. But Slimmy, don't bring no trouble here, Slimmy. Though I'm just saying, don't bring no trouble. All right. I'm just messing. All right. And that's a good question. So, Slimmy, are you trying to get into tech? Oh, nice. I love it. Let's do it. So we see we got Antonio Watkins, we got Slimmy, we got your car. Yo, we put in the work every single day. And Mitch is here. Mitch, I got something for you. Mitch. You ready? You ready for this, Mitch? You ready? Here we go.
Hey.
I told you I was going to have it ready for you, Mitch. Mitch is in the building. Mitch says, take off the blazer, loosen up the tie. You forgot the tie, Mitch. Loosen up the tie. Superman is alive. That's what I'm talking about. And Anthony Walker says, point me in the right directions. Bag chasers, we are up. We sure are. Anthony's like, nah, we're out here to learn. I got you. I'm just, hey, you are family, Slippy. You are family. Let's do it.
Appreciate you.
Nice. Welcome, Slimmy. I appreciate you. Awesome. But Mitch, I was ready for you. I was like 5 minutes late just so I could get that ready for you, Mitch. You know, because as the VP of Data Analytics, you deserve a.
Hey.
There we go. All right. Let's get to work today. Okay. Oh. Let's see what Slimmy says. I know absolutely nothing though. I was supposed to be in cybersecurity course, but my job was too stressful at the time. Hey, you are more than welcome. You're family here. You are family. All right. So, and we'll hit you up on Discord, and we're gonna figure something out for you, and we're gonna make it work. We got you, Slimmy. We got you. You are family. So let's do it. We'll get you on. Well, you know what? We're gonna put you on a pip, and then we'll figure it out, right? Because I like to hand out pips. Your car likes to just get rid of people. I'm like, nah, your car, you can't be that way. Let's put him on a pip. Let's put Slimmy on a performance improvement plan, and then we're gonna have him run it up. All right? That is what we're gonna do. Okay? Not the same type of pip as true to myself, but you're going to get it. All right? You are going to get it. All right. Let's get to it. So what I have to do today, what we're gonna do, we're going to be troubleshooting from last week. It's so weird. When I did the Terraform apply, the app actually worked this time, but our domain name is still having issues. So we're going to just be troubleshooting, hanging out, trying to figure it out. So we are going to go to put up our first 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to do.
And I will show, let's go to AWS first. So we are inside of AWS, Amazon Web Services, and this is the console. And see, I'm forecasted to spend $50 this month. And part of the conversation from tomorrow is that when you want to build stuff and you have to gain the necessary skills, which is a lot more than what they're going to show you in an online course or something. It's going to cost, like if you want to start getting familiar with cybersecurity, cloud engineering and stuff like that, you're going to have to invest in yourself in, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform on how to and the good thing about them is with AWS for the first, whatever they'll give you, they have some free services that they'll let you use, but you might have to spend some money so that you can get more familiar with this technology, which you spend a little bit of money now, you're going to make a lot of money later, right? Your car, right? If you spend if I'm spending like $50 a month only to host like a very simple application, but it's adding a lot of value, if I can show that, oh, I built this, I'm using this technology, I'm doing all of that, when whoever you're talking to sees it, they're like, oh wow, that's pretty cool, and they're gonna give you that shot that you've been asking for so long. You get a chance, you get a shot when you actually do something that makes you worthy of a shot, right? So I'm giving too much information for tomorrow, but that's the idea and the concept behind it. So I did the Terraform apply and it brought everything up and we have our quotes thing working. But the problem is, let me see if I move this down just a little bit. The problem is we have the load balancer URL is working. What I want to do is inside of here. So Route 53 inside of AWS is what directs your website address, your domain address, all that good stuff. What I need to do is get this subdomain. See, I have two of them right now. This is not good. It's not affecting anything, but because if I go to the actual website, just to load, right? There it goes. So this is the actual website. This right here is the one that's being loaded through Elastic Container Service, right? That's what we've been building the past few weeks. And let me think about this too. While you're here, what I know you mentioned cybersecurity. Have you looked into any particular areas of tech, even including like what areas of maybe cybersecurity that you're interested in, that I can have an idea of what your interests are, and then we can talk about that as well. But yeah, let me know and we'll figure that out. But here we are. We have, so it's working with the last week when we tried to do this, it was giving us some error page, but I don't know. I suspect it might have been AWS, but I could be wrong. Anyways, what we are trying to do now is we're trying to get this right here to, when you go to this, that it's going to go to this page. But now when I go to it, what it's going to do is it's going to give me to a page that it can't be reached. And I need to figure out why that is. Let me see. Oh well. Let me see what. Let me see. Let me see if I can do ns lookup. How to see where a subdomain is pointing to. I don't know. Let me try. I know what I'm looking for. I'm just not sure the terminology to use. Let me see what, if I can do it like that. ns lookup. And what in the world is that? 2001 5 by 8 feet 1. I've never seen that before. So this is pointing towards here, but the ECS dev one isn't pointing towards anything. If I do the same thing for www, it's pointing towards the same spot as that one. Interesting. So, let's see how we can figure this out then. Let me see. So let me compare this one. Let me compare this one, which is using let me see. So this one is using this, is going to here. This one is here, but it's possible that the other one is overwriting it. What is this dual stack load balancer? Let me see something. Let's test this record. Routes traffic to IPv4. Let's see here, but where do I choose? See, and this is the thing with tech, right? It's like a big portion of it is figuring things out. And that's why I always value critical thinking and innovation above all else. Because you can write the nicest, prettiest code in the world, but if you are not able to think effectively and creatively, then it's gonna be a tough ride for you. All right, let me test this record, see what happens. So we go here. Let's say we get response. Yeah, that didn't help. But let me see if I go back to this one. And we go here and we say test record and response returned by Route 5335. Thinking. And shout out to you, Wealth Building Journey. Do I use Stack Overflow? Stack Overflow is one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world. I use Stack Overflow like crazy. But yeah, I think almost everyone in tech uses Stack Overflow. Like, and the thing is, the new trend now is, let me just use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever to answer these coding questions. And I rarely use AI to answer these questions because I also want to be able to understand why and figure it out. But I don't know. But it just depends. But yeah, I use Stack Overflow because usually when you search something, that's the first thing that comes up is Stack Overflow, and then I go through there and I look at the checked answers and I try a bunch of things out. But yeah, so I definitely use. Are you familiar with zero trust architecture? I have never heard of that before, but I'm going to add it to my AnyDo to look into it to find out what the heck is zero trust architecture. Look into zero trust architecture. Awesome. Yeah, never heard of that one before, but I will definitely look into it. All right, so we are here. So this is getting some type of response. But if I go, so let me delete this then. Let me go in here. Well, not this one. Let me go in here. See, the reason that I'm a little bit conflicted by this is that, so here's the issue. This one right here is pointing to a different one that this one right here is pointing to. And I think that this one should be the one working. So I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna go into our code, our Terraform code, and I am going to not tear down, but I'm gonna get rid of the. We go over to here. I am going to get rid of this right here for now. I'm gonna get rid of this whole file actually. I'm gonna comment the whole thing out because I don't think that we should have this in two spots. We might be able to get away with this one, but we're not going to be able to get away with this one there because we already have it somewhere. So I'm gonna have to think that through a little bit. We'll see. Anyways, let's go. Let's get it. Let's tear it down. So, Terraform apply. Now when we do Terraform apply, it should tell us that it's going to get rid of this Route 53 and stuff like that. I'm going to say yes. So it's going to get rid of these right here. So annoying. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and we'll say yes. See, I can get so easily distracted trying to like move this thing up and stuff. I was like trying to find. Oh, let's get back on point. Let's get back on point. All right. So it is getting rid of that Route 53 record, and then as we go into here, we should see that it brings down. Like it's gonna get rid of that first one in there. So if we go back to here as it's doing its thing, that's why I love automation so much. I absolutely love doing automation and seeing the cool things that we can do with it. So if I click in here, it's getting rid of everything. Cool. So now if we go, so it's done over on the code side. If we go here, it should be gone. So now we only have 2, right? So through automation, we just commented out some code and now it got rid of this thing. So if I go in here and I want to edit this, let me see. Let me get rid of this one, right? So we're going to use the same domain here. Get rid of this record and delete the record. This actually, your domain might become unavailable on the internet. And we're going to say delete. And it's gone. And we're going to try to add it back. We're going to run it back, ECS dev. And we're going to say it's going to go to this one right here. And we want it to be an alias. By it being an alias, we get to choose where it goes to. We want it to be an alias to an alias to a classic, to an application in classic load balancer. And we're going to say it is in US East 1. And then we're going to choose a load balancer of, I don't know why it's called dual stack. Let me see something. That's not the one. Wait. Oh, I guess it has some dual stack thing in front of it. I don't know why, but I guess that's it. I wonder what other options we have in here. Elastic Beanstalk, CloudFront, AppSync. I guess. All right, cool. Let's go with that. And we say simple routing. We say no. We say create record. Let's see what happens. Because in theory, that should start. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I have to get better at starring some messages that I see come in that I want to read. So got that. Got some start. Perfect. All right. So Route 50 propagates or changes within 60 seconds. Use the view status to check propagation. So let's go. Let's check that. And where in the world is view status? Oh, view status right there. View status. All right. In sync. So now, if I was to go here again and I do refresh, it's like the little engine that could, but it can't. So we're going to do some more research. Let's do, because while I see it spinning, I know something's not coming up. So what are we going to do? We're going to look for AW or let's say Route 53 subdomain not loading load balancer URL. AWS subdomain. I don't know if it's not propagating. I don't know if it's that it's not propagating or it's not. Let's see. See what's building dirty? I'm on. It's like all roads point to Stack Overflow, right? I have a domain, all right, and two subdomains. One, all right, yada yada yada. However, API.myDomain as an error points to an alias of Elastic Load Balancer, and have not been able to get a ping response. Let's see. Your domain is not configured with AWS name servers as authoritative, so anything you enter in Route 53 is simply not used. You have to go to a registrar where you register your domain and add the 4 AWS name servers from the Route 53 screenshot. Oh, that is a good question. Is mine authoritative? So let's see. Let's go here and let's go to, I think mine should be authoritative. Let's see. That is facts. That is facts. I wish this would just time out on me to tell me what's going on. So if I go to back over here, NS lookup, non-authoritative answer. Let's see here. Can't find. Interesting. So tricky. So this is, I don't think this is it, but let me go ahead and let me log into this. I use Namecheap as my registrar for the most part. I used to use GoDaddy, but GoDaddy is getting super expensive nowadays. So let me. All right, so I am inside of Namecheap. Let me see. Check my domains that I have, and I have this one right here. Click on manage. And let me see. Yeah, I have the name server set over there for it. If I go, I'm wondering.
Lunch break, lunch break.
Let's try one last thing. 2. And we go here. Another hosted. Nope. It's not going to be a C name. Let's see. That's a different one. This one has to be this one. That one. that one. Same thing. The way that it's taking long to load, it makes me if I was to just put a different thing in there, right? Let's say we go with, I don't know, 54. See how that one immediately can't find anything? So the thing is, it's finding it, but I think it's some type of permission issue that's causing it not to be able to come up. So let's go to break, and we'll come back to that. Today is mostly going to be troubleshooting. You guys are going to see how I investigate and how I research, and like a big portion of my day might go to researching how to get something to work. So that's it. All right, cool. So let's check the chat really, really quick.
Hey.
Mitch, every time you say something, I'm gonna have to play that. All right. So let's go. Well, let me check the chat, and then we'll have a little discussion. Because I said, let me check the chat. So let's check the chat. So I wanted to read this one. Slimmy said, I know coding was what I really wanted to learn, but was headed towards cybersecurity. I'm open to anything I can learn, though. Well, here's the thing, right? Whether you're going towards cybersecurity or more of like development or whatever, coding is still going to be relevant for the most part. So yeah, that's good insight. That is good insight. And the wealth building journey says, yes, tech requires a lot of patience. Yeah. And especially with what I do every day is automation and quality assurance and stuff like that. There'll be times that I'll have to like work on other things while I'm waiting for the developers to be ready with the code that I need to test, or I'll be running some tests and I have to wait for it to become ready, or like there's a lot of waiting going around as well. We were at that one. So the wealth building journey says, yes, Stack Overflow is a godsend. That is a fact. And also, Stack Overflow is like a continuously updating tech Bible. Yup, totally. And we have Roxy in the building. Welcome, 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 Roxy. How are you doing today? So happy to have you here.
I appreciate you.
All right, so I wanted to talk about something. Let me see. Hopefully I have the right one up. So let's see, break one. All right, cool, yeah. So who are the grown-ups, right? It's a shame that I don't like this light. Let me change the light. Let's go to this color instead. Cool. It's a shame what LinkedIn is becoming, because I think I remember when LinkedIn first came out, I was like, I don't know if I want to get on it. And then I was like, you know what? But when you need a job, you'll hop on LinkedIn really, really quick. When you need to change companies, whatever the case may be, you'll hop on LinkedIn really, really quick. But I was like, I don't know if like it's a social media site, but I got on and it was good. I was able to network with a lot of people. Like my past 2 roles that I've had came from LinkedIn. Recruiters reaching out to me. But as always, there's going to be people who are going to bring their negativity and how they feel about companies and the job market. And then there's going to be people who are trying to get up on people like, like sign up for this. And anyways, whatever, right? So I got something, I'm not going to expose anybody, but I was reading this one post on LinkedIn, and I wanted to share it with you to see that like this, because guess what? I don't care what these people post. It's as annoying as it might be. What bothers me is the false hope that they give people who are trying to like follow them. And, and I see it a lot with like these recruiters who are like one-man companies, these one-man CEO companies. And they're like, oh, company should do this and company should do that and blah, 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 blah. And then the people are eating up like, oh, yes, tell me about it. They're not giving us a chance. And right. So I might have to change my voice for this part. But anyways, so I wanted to share this. I wanted to read this together so you can see like the things that you need to avoid Because, like I said, if I was a recruiter for a company, not the type of recruiter who's like the CEO of a one-person company who's trying to get a bunch of likes and stuff, a bunch of followers, but if I'm a recruiter for a real company, and I'm looking for people who might be a good fit for the company and stuff like that, and I come across your profile and it's like, oh, this person might be good, but then I see all the stuff that you're liking and you're commenting on, and you're like, companies need to do this and companies need to do that, and I'm like, ooh, this person might cause a headache at our company, and then it's going to mess with the vibe and feeling that entitled and stuff like that. And which I had a small healthy conversation with somebody. When I say small, I responded once and I never responded again, because guess what? When you start complaining and stuff, I really don't care about what you think or what you feel. Like, just leave me alone. Leave me alone. All right. So let's read this together. And let's see there we go. Let's read this together. Mitch, what are you talking about, Mitch? Where are we going, Mitch? Huh? Where are we going? All right. So an IT director in a healthcare industry got a note from a recruiter here on LinkedIn about a position they wanted to talk to him about. He's a client from last year who had his resume done just in case. He is not actively looking for a job, but it sounded interesting, so he booked the call. Last Wednesday, he had a 20-minute phone screen. Thursday, he did a Zoom interview with the hospital CEO. On Friday afternoon, the recruiter called him to schedule him for an in-person on Monday. Monday morning, he shows up. They lead him to the conference room. There are two people there, the CEO and the person he is going to replace, who is retiring at the end of the month. They hit it off immediately. Oh, that's so sweet. Where's my aw sound? There we go. Aww. That's so sweet. They hit it off immediately, right? Like right away. Like when they say immediately, they mean like they shook hands and like, oh, we're besties. That we are besties. All right. So he is very familiar with EMR, electronic medical record system, and has been involved in a full-scale implementation and upgrades through the years. They talked for about 2 hours and he leaves. He didn't even arrive home yet. He gets a call from the recruiter with a job offer just like that. Okay. That's what we're talking about, right? Just like that. A smaller team, but a larger budget. The salary is about $15,000 more than he is making now. Oh my goodness.
Money.
I love this story. He's feeling excited about the prospect of something new, which is awesome. But I love it because all of this got done in less than a week with only 2 people involved and no bull, right? Just straightforward conversation, real questions about real changes, and a handful of grown-ups determining how would it go. Don't you miss the grown-ups? Me too. I absolutely love watching the Effective Olympics. Do I participate in them? Absolutely not. But it is always fun to watch. It is always fun to watch. It's always fun to watch because guess what? So, me being friends with Mitch and his data analytics, and I'm looking at all the little clues and details. So this is an IT director. It's not somebody who just went through some program or some boot camp and who's like fighting against thousands and thousands of people who are trying to get hired for a job, right? And being in the healthcare industry, it is a tough industry to find people in. So you're definitely going to go through a faster hiring process, right? But here's the thing. Number one, I find that those who are not actively looking for a job, they do, because they're not actively looking, they're in more demand, right? Leave me alone, Mitch. Leave me alone. Anyways, so I didn't even put our timer up, but whatever. We don't need it for this time. So, so he booked the call, whatever. So last minute he had a 20-minute phone screen, did a Zoom interview, all that good stuff. And then on Friday he had the in-person. And I'm like, this person already is established, right? So let's go back to full screen. This person is already established in the career, so it's easier to know what he knows, and he had something valuable, and he's replacing somebody, right? He's replacing somebody, so of course it's going to go a lot smoother than someone who's just coming in and they're fighting with like thousands and thousands of people who are trying to get a chance. So yeah, it's a great story, but it's not realistic. And to say that, oh, the grown-ups are in charge. Look, I already planned for next Monday's video, not tomorrow, but next Monday's video. I'm going to be talking about why hiring is I'm going to be talking about why companies don't just give out chances and why, and how much does it cost to hire somebody. Hiring is super, super expensive. And if the company gets it wrong, it's even more expensive. And trust me, they do get it wrong. I've seen people who get hired. They go through a process to get hired. And then once they earn the position, a week later, they're not there anymore. Or somebody who gets hired for a position, but it's more of like a transitioning position. Like they're not, that's not really the job that they want, but they sold themselves as if that was the job that they wanted just because they needed a new job. And then maybe 3 months later, they get the opportunity that they really wanted, and then now they're gone. So now the company loses a bunch of money. The team needs to like start over and put other things in place and all this type of stuff. So companies are very, very careful with their hiring. Now, the time that you would have been given a chance is when the companies were rolling in the dough and they were trying they were hiring everybody. Now you get it in, you get some experience, and now you can market yourself a little bit more. But to say, oh, it should take a week to hire somebody. At my last company, or the company that I'm working at now, it took about almost a month for the whole process to go through. But throughout the whole process, they're like, okay, it's going to take about this much time for this process, for this step. I met with the recruiter, spoke to the recruiter multiple times, met with the hiring manager, who's my current boss right now. I had a technical interview. I did a technical project where I had to write some automation code. Then we had a review on it where I met with two people that I barely work with right now. But it was a technical interview. And then I met with the team after they said all was good. I met with the team. Right after the team, I met with the director, and then later I got the offer, right? But it was a process because they need to make sure, and there's multiple people who are involved in making the decision. If at any point of the way it's like, because I've been part of where things were going good, but then someone was rubbed the wrong way, and they're like, I think this is going to be a problem, and it didn't go through. So it's not like you have to understand that when you are more experienced, it's going to be a lot easier for the process to go through. But when you're trying to get into something, you're going to have to you have to prove yourself. It's simple. You're going to have to prove yourself, right? You might have proved yourself in other areas, but you're not in this particular area that you're trying to get into. So you're going to have to prove yourself all over again, right? So just breaking it down that way, these are feel-good stories, but the likelihood of them happening, it's not that common. 1 week interview processes are not that common unless you are highly in demand. So if you think about it in sports, for instance, if you are LeBron James or Steph Curry, before the season is even over, if a team wants you, they're going to make you an offer and they're going to throw the bank at you. They're going to back up the Brinks truck. Now, if you are Isaiah Thomas, not the one from the Detroit Pistons from a long time ago, the little short guy that used to play like crazy, he had a comment in Boston that Boston was going to have to back up the Brinks truck, and Boston burned down the Brinks truck, right? Because he was good, but he was not him, right? So that's what happened, So yeah, you have to understand. You just have to understand the process, right? The process, right? So let me go back to the. I don't want to go back to the chat, but I'm going to go back to the chat because Mitch and I have to have a discussion real quick. So let's see what is going on here. Let me go to. Let's see. Where am I? All right. So never responded again. Yep, that's how I roll. That's how I roll. I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of time going back and forth. I'm like, hey, I think this sounds like an entitled mindset. It's like, oh no, that's not entitled. I'm like, all right, cool. do you? And Mitch says, do not beep the words. No, we're gonna keep it professional here, Mitch. Right? We're gonna keep it's Sunday. It's Mother's Day, Mitch. It's Mother's Day. We are going to keep it professional. All right. Happy Mother's Day to all of your mothers as well. All right. And Mitch says, I was gonna say, me and you weren't bestest. What? Mitch, take it back. Take it back, Mitch. Take it back, Mitch. We are besties, okay? And somebody says, that's a great story. Sounds like a seamless process. That's a great story. But it is very, very uncommon for it to work that way because, like I was saying, hiring is so expensive. I'm going to break it down next Monday on how hiring is so expensive and why companies are very, very careful with their selection process, right? You guys, from the outside looking in, because when you're in need, I'll put it like this person who got the job, right? In this story, he wasn't even looking. He's like just chilling and stuff like that. But if he was desperate for a job, he would be like, oh, why is it taking so long? Why? Like even in a week's time, you'll feel like it's taking long. But there's so many, like gathering people to do interviews, like trying to get 3 people at the same time to do an interview is hard enough as it is because they have their calendars. I have my calendar, all that stuff, right? But for you who is like waiting you're looking for this opportunity, you're waiting, and then there's like 10 people who are applying for the same job and they decide to go with somebody else. See, this one, they had their target set. They reached out to him. He didn't apply for the job, which is when they reach out to you, it can go a lot faster than when you are the one who are actively looking. And so there's so many different contexts and dynamics to this story. When they're looking for you, it's going to be faster. When you're the one who's looking for them, like, I'm looking, and you're applying everywhere, it's going to be a different dynamic, right? And let's see. Mitch says, I honestly think a month too long, even though that's normal. It should take no more than 2 weeks. It's possible. It just depends how many rounds of the interview, but it's definitely possible. And the wealth building journey hits us with, but that the unwritten law of plenty and lack, those who already have get more and have an abundance, but those who are already lacking will lose what they have. Matthew 13:12. Shout out to Wealth Building Journey hitting us with also Bible study. All right, so Mitch says the last process took 1 day, but I was the one holding it up. I waited 2 to 3 weeks. See, that is the position that you want to be in. You want to say, no, I'm not going to wait for you. You are going to wait for me. Hey. And Mitch says, little short guy, y'all the same height.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. And Mitch says, Ralph is mean. I'm the mean one. All right. And my mom is actually in Florida, right? Shout out to your mom being in Florida. Happy Mother's Day to your mom. And you know what? All right. I was playing basketball this morning, Mitch. I know you told me not to mention it anymore. It was so hot and humid outside. I was like, oh my God, it's summer here already. It was terrible. Anyways, all right, let's get back. And it says, does feel like forever though when you are waiting and looking. It does. That's why, like when I was applying last year, I made a very detailed calendar of how my day was going to be mapped out. I was always working. All right. So let's get to our next segment of the show. I hope you're not laughing at Mitch's tasteless jokes, right? I hope that's not what you're at. I hope you find something else funny, Mitch. I mean, I hope it's not Mitch, right? Because we're gonna have to have a conversation, all right? We're gonna have to have a conversation, Mitch. Anyways, let's get back to it. So, let me see. So we are trying to figure out. Let's put another 20 minutes up on the clock.
Let's go!
I think part of the issue that we're having is a networking issue, because when I go to the subdomain that we created, it takes a very long time for it to time out. But when I go to, let's say we go over to here, And you see, it's still trying to connect to it. But when I go to something like that doesn't really exist, see how fast it says it doesn't work? But here it keeps trying and trying like a little engine that could, but it can't. And I'm suspicious, right? So what I want to try to figure out, so I don't think it's this one. Let me see. A subdomain. Let's say route 53 domain timing out load balancer URL. Let me see. So let's look at this one. How to route a map, or how to map a Route 53 domain to a load balancer. Let me see. Is this the issue? So, so one thing I do the wealth building journey is I have to. I'm bad at this, right? Because I'll look at the title and I just jump straight to the solution. But I have to do a bit of better job of seeing if this is my actual issue. All right, so okay, so I have a AWS EKS cluster, which is close enough, which I have a public load balancer service. I have a domain on Route 53 along with a pending, okay. I was wondering what I have to do to map my Route 53 domain to my load balancer so I don't have to use extremely long. Okay, cool. So that seems similar. So Route 53, choose the corresponding hosted zone, mark the target Route 53 record, edit record. In the section route traffic, we have to choose alias and classic load. Okay, we have that. Choose the region where the load balancer exists and paste the load balancer. I have that. I have that. See, I think though. Let me see. See, connection timed out. This one says it can't find it. So the subdomain is working, but the connection thing though, that's the tricky part. Let's see. So AWS domain connection timeout to load balancer URL. Okay, let's see the load balancer. Let me check back over here. Let's cancel that. Go here. I don't know what this dual stack thing is though. This is the part. This part confuses me just a little bit. I don't know why it says dual stack. Because I wonder if, all right, let me try something. If I go to, if I go here, say it's an alias, and I go to that, East 1, and we have this in here. Let me see. If I go, what does this dual stack thing do? Is it going to load the site? I think that's the problem. That's what the problem is. Oh, wait, no, it does load it. You see, that's so weird. Because if this loads it, then all right, we're gonna be a little bit mischievous here. If I do ECS dev 2, did you see how wealth building journey? Did you just see how I hit the word mischievous? And I didn't even have to sound it out. But yesterday, on yesterday's show, we were talking about Yakar and I were talking about yesterday. I had to sound out accessibility. That was a crazy morning show yesterday. That was a fun one. All right, let's see. We got this. And I want to go to let me see if I do. Let's go. Let's change this to a CNAME actually. And it's not an alias. And let's go to google.com. If I do this, create this record, and I go here, it says it takes about 60 seconds for it to change. Oh, let me see. Let's see. Go here, test record view status, pending. And let's go to test record, get response. Okay, so if I go to the second one then, right? ECS dev 2 should take us to Google, which is fine. So we don't have a certificate, but it's trying to get us to Google. No big deal, right? So now, so I'm not even worried about that. So something with this one, let me get rid of this, right? Something with this one pointing to this is causing an issue. Speaking of gatekeepers, right? Something is gatekeeping ECS dev.poopypants.app from getting into it. I don't know what it is. So let's think it through. Test that again. .54 dot. Let's see. So if this is the all right, so if this is the response that it's getting, let's find out where. Let's find out if this is the information for our load balancer, right? I'm just thinking out loud right now. So let's go to EC2 and we go to our load balancers. And HTTP port 80, TPQ target group. Let's see that. Auto scaling groups. So that's not all right. Load balancers, listeners and rules, network map, security. Let's click on that security group. And we have access on port 80. Okay. Edit inbound rules. So this should be allowed to get traffic in. Elastic beanstalk. Load balancers. We're here. Resource map security. Let's see here. Very tricky. Default. What is this rule? I don't see no rule in here. A record to this. If I copy this, and I go here, it's going to load, right? We got that. That's what we're trying to connect to. What do we got here? But this is going to some dual stack thing. Network map. All these. I don't know. This is tricky. It should just, because when we don't point it to the load balancer, we point it to something else, it's going to work. I have an idea. Let me try something else. So if we go in here and we say, ECS dev to again, and we say route that to something that's working. Let's say we go to another one that's hosted here and we say this one, create record. Let's see what that one's gonna do. But let's go another search. Route 53 domain timing out, but load balancer URL works. Route 53. My domain is unavailable on the internet. We know that's not the case. AWS timeout hosted zone. It means your server is not serving at port 80, which is the HTTP port. You need to check the following. I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see here. It's like these little things can be so aggravating sometimes. It can be so aggravating, like everything. All right, so let's try this new domain, all right? This new subdomain. We go here, works perfectly fine. But let me see. Wait 1 second here. Wait just 1 second here. Is it because we have... No. It's not why. Let me make sure we specify. See, it's not specific. It's something causing it to time out. Make sure I still have it over there. Let's see. So this one works fine. This one is the one that we need to work to point over here, but it's not doing it. And I don't know why. If I go to this domain on its own, it's going to load just fine. Yep, that's it over there. Say, oh, ELB. Let me see something. Check one more thing. Create record. Alias. Network load balancer. So it is a ALB. Simple routing. It's the same thing we were doing before. All right, so we're gonna choose. US East 1. I just if yes, select yes if you want Route 53 to use this record to respond to DNS queries only if the specified AWS resource is healthy. Sure. Why not? So dev2 works. What happened, Mitch? What happened, Mitch? Let's see. I don't know. You watching a basketball game or something, Mitch? What's going on? Let's see here. All right, let's try it. So this is working. Same thing. I am so confused by this thing. Let's see. But that's also because there is no HTTPS setup yet. Let's see here. You're so funny. You are so funny, Mitch. Your toilet seat. Your toilet seat is up. That's hilarious. This is oh my god. This is so annoying. I feel like I'm on a treasure hunt over here trying to find these things. But that is how you learn, though. I must say that is how you learn. Let's do some more Stack Overflow searching. Route 53. No, that's not it. Route 53, not resolving. All right, let's go with this one. All right, so this seems similar to what we're having. I have created a ELB for my two dev instances. My domain is example.com, which is a record to Elastic IP. So their domain name is really not example.com, but that's the example that you're using. I'm trying to create a subdomain, dev.example.com, which is an alias to my ELB. My ELB is dev da 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 da. All right. When I hit the ELB DNS directly from the browser, the data is served perfectly. But when I go to dev, that's what I'm happening, right? That is what I'm going through. Can someone tell me where I'm going wrong? Your settings seem fine. What happens if you resolve your domain name? Ping that.
Lunch break.
But
Lunch break.
in your case, it's better to add a record set type CNAME. The name is a value. I guess I'll try that real quick. I don't think that's the problem, though. Still timing out. Telnet. Let's see. Not Telnet. Trace route. Let's see. Okay, that's not helping. See, I don't think this is the problem that I'm having. Okay, so here we go. In my case, it's because my ELB service was running in a VPC, so the alias was set in a private hosted zone out of reach of the public zone until I associated with the corresponding VPC. That sounds like it might be an issue. Anyways, we'll get back to it some more to see what's going on. But here we are. So we have, let's see. So the wealth building journey hit us up. Yeah, I remember yesterday we were talking about the wealth building journey having these tough 3-syllable words, accessibility. I did the same thing. It taught me to RTFQ instead of near cousin ATFQ. Oh goodness. Read the and Mitch says the toilet seat is up and he is not watching basketball. He is still doing these item builds. So Mitch, are you telling me, Mitch, that you are working on Saturday and Sunday? Mitch, what are you doing? You're working on both days? Like, it's supposed to be easy. What are you doing, Mitch? What are you doing? And we get your card. Remember I promised Mitch that I was going to get this for him? Hey. And Ferris hit us with, good morning, y'all. Didn't even wake me up. How is everyone? Well, I'm just doing fine and dandy, Ferris. How are you doing? Hey, you guys should have seen. I'm going to call you out, Ferris. You guys should have seen. So what I'm going through right now is what Ferris was going through on Friday night when he was trying to get his IDE to work properly. It was crazy. He was trying to get first he was trying to get VS Code installed in Linux, and then he scrapped that plan when I said, hey, use a real IDE, use PyCharm. And then he finally got PyCharm to work, but it was crazy. It was fun, but it was crazy. It was totally crazy. And it says to Ferris, it's not morning. Go back to sleep. Morning is when you start your day. That's an interesting point. That is an interesting point. And accessibility, right? We got it, right? Just because I don't talk about it doesn't mean I don't do it. Oh my goodness, you guys are too much. And Ferris like, the real IDE. All right, you guys play around with your Eclipse and your VS codes and stuff. I'm like, nope. I am a JetBrains fanboy. All right. You guys sounding it out. Slim, you should have seen me yesterday when we're going over these numbers and stuff like that. It's there's the economic numbers are so crazy. Trying to figure it out, I'm like, what? And Mitch says Ralph sounding out words like Chad Johnson, Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson. All right, Ocho Cinco, get it right. All right. And The RTFQ was in reference to reading the question to see which answers are applicable to the user's unique problem. Yes, I figured that. I just didn't know what the I was gonna try to figure out what the acronym stood for, but I didn't want to embarrass myself more than I've already been doing it. Already been doing. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Because look, I told you, welcome to journey. You're not gonna trap me into saying these tough words and stuff like that, and then have me looking like Willy Lump Lump, So nope, not happening. And I was gonna say Ocho, but didn't think you would know who that was. Hey, he's from Liberty City, right? He played down here in Miami. I know who Ocho is, right? I know who Ocho is. Come on, Mitch. Come on. You might have thought it was the number 8. Well, possibly, but I would have figured it out. Anyways, leave me alone. All right. So let me see. What did I have for our next section? Let me see. So let's go to break 2. Get Mitch off my screen. So something that I'm big on, right? Just gonna touch on this really quick. Making tech fun. I always go back to, I remember seeing, and believe it or not, your card. This was in the Bag Chasers Discord. Somebody had said in the tech channel, they said, oh, I was doing like some software engineering thing, and but I thought like it would be boring, so I stopped. I'm like, man, like that's not a good reason to stop. Right? That's not a good reason to stop. Like, and for me, I go out of my way to make it interesting, because especially if there are so many different opportunities in tech from on this channel alone. Yesterday, you saw me push up the iOS app to the App Store for testing. Earlier in the week, I did the same thing for the Google Google Play Store. For who else we got? We're doing the QA stuff with automation, and then we're doing Terraform on Sundays. And I'm always looking for new things to get into and stuff like that. I'm like, I have tons of fun doing this. And the way that you see me working here is how I work at work, like having fun, having a good time with the other engineers and stuff like that. Trying, giving other people ideas. Oh, you can try this, we can try that. Oh, can we optimize this? I make it challenging, which goes into what I'm going to be talking about on Friday's The Bug Bite episode, about an article that I read where they were talking about gamifying cybersecurity, I think it was for in particular, but gamifying coding and different ways, like you make it challenging and you make it fun, just like you're doing like a video game. So for me, instead of just playing video games, I'm like, all right, let me make my learning activity a video game. And that's why you'll see me, like when I accomplish something, you'll see me hit this one.
We the best.
Because I'm having a good time. So I'm like, well, why can't we have a good time while making a lot of money? Why is it like, oh, because if cybersecurity, software engineering, whatever in tech is going to get you to a better spot, but if you make it fun, you're going to want to do it more. So I have no problem firing up the stream and say, okay, let's go do some coding. Let's go do some mobile development. Let's go talk about tech. Let's go answer some questions, whatever the case may be, because it's fun. I'll have the lights going. We'll probably, like, when it's somebody's birthday, we'll hit it with one of these. We can have the lights. We can have the lights that are changing, whatever the case may be. But I'm like, if we make it fun, then are we really working? I know you're into like music and stuff like that. Like for like your car too. You're into music, making beats and stuff like that. Like, if those things are fun for you, are you really working? You know what I mean? So that's just my thoughts about it. Whatever you're doing, make it fun. And if the thing makes a lot of money, make it fun. You don't have to be like, so one of the things that used to get to me, right? Because I enjoy working. I enjoy figuring things out, challenging things, all this type of stuff. And when I would get to work and people were like, oh, it's Monday. Oh, work. Oh, I can't wait for Friday. And I'm like, I just want to do cool stuff. That's my thoughts about it, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Can we make tech fun? And possibly, if we can show that it's actually fun by the way you approach it, then we won't have to worry about, oh, this percentage of this group of people are going for this, and the representation. Like, hey, if you want to get representation, you got to get yourself in the game. All right. That's my thoughts behind it. All right. Let's finish up these chats, and then we are going to do our last segment for today. Mitch says, let me get this off the screen first. Let's go to, it says tough crowd. Yes, tough crowd today for you, Mitch. Tough crowd. And the Wealth Building Journey says, yeah, don't entertain Mitch. Don't entertain Mitch, right? And Dell 0015 said Chad played at Miami Beach High. Is that where he played? Okay, interesting. But he is from Liberty City, right? I'm pretty sure he said he's from Liberty City. But yeah, I went to Miami Central like the year that Willis McGahee had graduated. No, I think did he graduate that year, or maybe it was a year after he graduated from it. It was something like that. It was a big deal. And the Wealth Building Journey says facts. Work is only work when it's not any fun. And that's why I say find a way to make it fun. Find, like, whatever it is, challenge yourself, reward yourself, do cool things. Set goals, set accomplishments, things like that. And Mitch says you can make tech fun, but on the other side of that, you have to majority of people hate their jobs. It's not what they want to do. Hey, I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna find a way, whatever's going to love whatever's gonna pay me, right? Maybe I'm for sale. I don't know, but I'm like, hey, if I'm doing something boring, well, let me make it fun. Let me see if I'm doing something boring and it's not gonna pay me. I'm like, I'm not gonna worry about it, right? But if I'm gonna do something that it might seem boring, how can I make it fun? If that's going to be lucrative, If I was a surgeon, I was like, now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not going to play with someone's surgery, but I'm like, how, like, if I was a surgeon and I found it boring, right? I'm like, well, how can I make it interesting? Make stuff interesting. Make it interesting, right? And Ferris says, cybersecurity wise, try Hack Me, Hack the Box are good. And those are challenging things as well. I tried one of those things, those catch the flag. It was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster, right? I missed your earlier chat. Wait, what earlier chat did I miss? Oh my goodness, no! Don't tell me I missed it. Do me a favor, Walt Boone Journey. Put it back in the chat because I don't want to miss it. It says, I've been telling Ralph my name mentioned gets views. Just playing. Don't put me on a pip. His name does get views, all right? His name does get views. And Slimmy says, if I can palletizing boxes fun for almost, if I can make palletizing boxes fun for almost 2 years, anything on the computer will be a dream. That is a fair. If you can do that, then yes. But Slimmy, I'll tell you this: as you enter into the tech field, think about all the things that you're good at, the things that you enjoy to do, the music stuff, all that stuff, right? And say, is there something that can make my life, by my, I mean you, make Slimmy's life easier? And then thinking about, okay, how can we, like, as you're learning, how can I build that? So when I started learning the mobile development stuff, it was to build something. And think about, like, always have that in the back of your mind. Oh, this thing that I like to do, it would be easier for me to do it if I had this. And now the question is, how do I get that? And as you're learning, if you're going to coding, let's say you're learning how to do software development or something like that, let's build it. Let's figure out a way to build it. So think about that. I always have that in the back of your mind. And somebody agreed, I'm the understanding one. And okay, so it says, that's why I'm in finance at my job. I always love numbers. See, you and Mitch are going to be besties because Mitch helps me so much on the Saturday. Like, I just say the Saturday morning shows belong to Mitch because he's the one who's explaining, him in your car. They're breaking down these numbers, saying this and that, and the economy this, and they're saying, Mitch, drop in your line. Drop in your line, Mitch. What the number, the men lie, the women lie. What do the numbers do? What do the numbers do, Mitch? Let us know. Let us know. And Mitch says, surgeons have robots now. They do. I saw it at the hospital. I'm like, oh, cool. I want to try one of those. And the World Building Journey says numbers and formulas. And Dell says, yes, he's from Liberty City. He's on YouTube every night with Shannon Sharp. They have a show called, yep, I watch it sometimes. I watch it. I watch more of the clips than I watch the whole show because they go for like 2 hours and stuff like that. And it's late. Let's see. Okay. See, why did I ask? See, I should have known. Like anti-disestablishmentarianism. See, to be fair, I did say 3 syllables, but you hit me with like 10. So there we go. All right. Let me start from right here. And let's get back to our last 20 minutes, and then I'll wrap up the rest of the chats at the end. So I am going to, and that was not cool, the wealth building journey. That was not cool. Not cool. All right, let's get that off my screen. All right. Anyways, let's do a last 20 minutes. Let's try to figure this out because I need this to work. Because I need to do my test to see which one's going to cost me more money. Is it going to be the Elastic Container Service, or is it going to be what we currently have running, the Elastic Beanstalk? Let's figure it out. So let's do our last 20 minutes, and then I'll wrap up the show reading up the chats, and we will go from there. So keep reading our Stack Overflow, of course. Let me see. I guess we could try this as well. In my case, it was because I had my ELB, my Elastic Load Balancer service running in a VPC, and so the alias was set to a private hosted zone. So out of reach of the public zone until I associated the corresponding VPC to it. I guess we can check if that's the case. Let me see. In my case, I had my ELB. This sounds like what might be my problem. Could be totally wrong. It's because I had my ELB service running in a VPC, so the alias was set in a private. All right, let's check the VPC. If I go here and we check for the VPCs, I see security, a security group, VPC. Let me see, CIDR. And most of these things I'm looking at, I don't really know what they mean. Main network. I'm just looking around. Rule number 100. Inbound rules. Outbound rules. Edit inbound rules. Inbound rules control the incoming traffic that is allowed to reach the VPC. They're saying all is allowed to reach. So let's see here. Forward to target group. Let's see what's inside of this target. Let me close out some of these tabs. I have way too many tabs open. Load balancer. So there goes the VPC. There goes the load balancer. Registered targets. I don't quite know. But they did mention to try something else. So let's try that other thing. So let's go to another one. So let's do here. Let's do one more record here. I didn't set up the timer either. So let's do.
It's time to do.
Let's go here. Let's go switch to quick create. Let's go to ECS Dev 5, I think we're on. Let's try a CNAME. I don't know if CNAME is gonna work. Well, let me see. I don't think that's gonna work, but we can try it. Let's go to, where's that dual? That's not the right one. Let's go to, see if I so copy this. And we go to here. Let's see what that's gonna do. I don't think that's a good idea to do it that way, though. It shouldn't work that way. This should work. This one should work. I don't understand why it's not working. I'm really annoyed by this. Alias records are used for basic two reasons. Make it possible to alias the root domain to another service. Make it possible to use alias system that can coexist with other data. I don't have a third-party DNS server. I know I have a network permission issue. Getting the DNS name for the Elastic Load Balancer. If you want, okay, choose, create record. Let me see. AWS network permission. Domain to ELB. Timeout. We go here, refresh. All right, cool. So now if we go back over here, we copy this one. Let's see what this one does. That's weird. Let me see. S. Interesting. That one should have worked. I mean, it shouldn't give you that it can't be. Interesting. That was a little different. So strange. No, it's going to continue. All right, so that's not good. Huh. I am not sure yet. Because this one, it should work, but trying to find out. Get rid of this one. Delete record, delete. Let's go. When I go to that one, wait, what is this privacy? Okay, I know that one is. When I go here, it's telling me connection timed out. If the connection timing out, that means that, all right, so this is working. If the connection is timing out, then somewhere where it's trying to get into here. Oh, let me see. That's a tough one. Networking is always so complicated because there's so many different things that's going on with networking. Whether it's like, because it's somewhere in this load balancer setting that, and I think it has to do with what that other comment said about the VPC and stuff. Let me think. AWS, no, let's say domain, AWS, VPC access. Resolving DNS queries between VPC and your, I don't think that's what it is. And we had like, I remember when we were doing it for Elastic Beanstalk, we had a similar issue. But I'm not 100% sure where it occurred. Let me see. So we have port 80. We have, here, listener. Let me go to this listener over here. We have this one. This is the load balancer, availability, actions. What is this add listener thing? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's look at the target group again. Target group. What's inside this target group? Port 80, load balancer, VPC protocol. Let me see. Registered targets. Port 3. So this is the IP of the Elastic Container Service. Let's go look at our Elastic Container Service. We know it's working. We're looking around here. Target group. Configuration and networking. Load balancer. IP. DNS names. Let me see. Update service, maybe? Let me see. Load balancing. Service and auto scaling. Nope. View load balancer. Security, monitoring, integration, attributes, network mapping. There goes the VPC. Edit IP address type. Need to find me a networking person, because this is the part that is so annoying on AWS. Network mapping, VPC. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Have this, your AWS virtual network, show details. No IPv6. Internet routes, 2 public subnets, 2 private subnets route to the internet. Okay. Internet gateways. Actions. So let's say we look up how to route, how to set up AWS sub or domain to point to ECS cluster. That's the ultimate goal, right? Adding domain names ECS application with AWS ELB. I don't know how. All right, so I have an application which is running on AWS ECS cluster, which has 2 instances. I'm using EC2 instances for the ECS. I have an application load balancer attached to this ECS, which is using dynamic port mapping. Right now, the application is working fine with the load balancer's domain name. I plan on adding SSL, which we plan on doing as well. For simplicity, I'm using, okay. I'm not sure where to attach this domain. If I go for a new domain registration, what IP do I use for domain registration? All right, cool. Basically, you have to create a record in your DNS server pointing to the ELB. Amazon has Route 53 for registering domains. If your domain is registered with Route 53, it's easy. Selecting the ELB from the list. Okay, we have all that, right? If you host your domain, then you have to make sure your ELB is publicly available to use its address for. Okay, so we have our DNS pointing to there. That's not the right one. Let's see what this says. Join the ECS instance host to the domain. There are many ways to join ECS instance on active. What are you talking about? Active Directory domain. That's not what we're looking for. AWS ECS with custom domain. This might be it, but I don't want to watch a YouTube video. Let's try this one. How to add a domain name to an ECS container with, I need it with a load balancer. Come on. Let's see. Networking between Amazon ECS and a VPC. Routing traffic. I think we kind of have that. Let me check in here. This does not talk about Route 53 in here, so we pretty much have all of this done. Still not what we're looking for. Researching on. Ooh, all right. So here we go. So we got this part done. What is Route 53? All right, we got that. Deploy 2-tier ECS. Okay, we did all that. We did all that. All right, Route 53, Amazon. Okay, cool. Domain registration, DNS management, health checks, routing, traffic routing. Integration with AWS services. Cool. That was so unhelpful. That was so unhelpful. Networking between ECS services in the same cluster, how to establish private connectivity from ECS anywhere. DNS and Route 53, but being required. Route 53 to ALB to ECS. Let's check this one out real quick. So let's see. Using what is this? What is this? My goodness gracious. I don't even have a classic one. I bet it's like one line of code or something that needs to be changed, and I can't find it for the life of me. I'm going to be haunted by this for the rest of the day. All right, so Route 53, create a load balancer. Okay. Where do you point it though? Securing Elastic Container Service application configure. Let's see what this says. Amazon cog. Okay, whatever. I am not sure what is going on here. Let me see details. Connection timed out. But if you push it, if you point, something is preventing it from getting to here. Something is in its way. Doesn't make any sense. Let me try something else. And let's say we went to here, 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 US East 1. And we choose this one. We create that record. I think I would have did IPv4, but nonetheless, we're going to try that as well. And then after this timer runs out, I'm just going to say I'm giving up and I will figure it out on my own because I am like, this shouldn't be this complicated. Because I don't want to do the same exact thing next week. So let's see. That one died quickly. Let's see. View status. In sync. I wonder why it keeps putting this HTTPS on it. This one is timing. Wait, what's going on here? So this one is timing out. So let me try one more thing here because it keeps on trying to go to HTTPS. What if we were to go into here? Not here. We go into here, we go to here, and we say add listener, and we do HTTPS. We say 443. and we forward to target group, and we're going to say this target group, and we do do that. Add. The security group for your load balancer doesn't. All right, so let's go to security group. Security group for the load balancer. Let's go here.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
And edit inbound rules. We're going to do HTTPS. It's going to do 443. We're also going to say all, save. And if we go back over here, listeners and rules, refresh that. What? It should. Refresh. Why is that? The security group for your load balancer does not allow this traffic on this port. Okay, so now we're good here. So if we go back over to this one, reload. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Bruh.
Talk about hitting a buzzer beater. As time ran out, we figured out the problem. As time, the wealth building journey. Do you see what like the research, the patience, like just throwing stuff at the wall, throwing spaghetti at the wall, and then figuring out that it was because. All right, so let me explain what happened. Right, let me explain what happened because we click, it's gonna do whatever it's gonna do. Cool, right? So this is what happened. Every time I was trying to go to it, like in the browser, it was trying to force the HTTPS, a secure domain, right? A secure connection. However, we didn't have in our configuration to allow it to go to where do we have it? Where did we have it? Somewhere in here. We didn't have it, the port for security for HTTPS. So when I think this was like almost the same exact problem we had the first time when we were setting up it another way. So when we would go to it directly to here, this is, you see it says like not, can you see? I don't know if you can see it. Let me move it down a little bit. It says not secure, right? And if you look at the whole website address, yeah, so it's like going to HTTP, right? Because if I go here, well, now it's going to work. But if I was going to HTTP, and that's why I was able to load because it wasn't secure. But when I was trying to go to it through going to here, it was forcing the HTTPS, right? So now adding the listener for port 443, now we saw that, okay, you need to also open that port on your security group. Opening that up, that allowed it to work. So now the next step, which I'm going to do this part next week, is getting this into Terraform. So we got it in like doing it through the console. the tricky part with getting into Terraform is going to be when we create the I figure it out. When we create it in our current place, whatever it's doing, how we're going to get it to point to this one. But that's for next week. I'm just happy that we figured out what the problem was, got it to work, and now we just have to configure it in Terraform. So that was a mission. Let me close some stuff out. That was a mission. That was a mission. But we got it. We got it just in the nick of time, right? No days off. We put in that work, right? So let me see. What was I gonna? Let me see. Let's go to here. So one last thing I want to talk about, right? And then I'm gonna read the chat, and then we're going to end the show, right? Because I'm happy. I figured it out. And like I said, you have to celebrate your victories. Every single victory that you get, you have to celebrate because it's important, and it's gonna motivate you to keep going, right? It's gonna motivate you to keep going, keep figuring it out. I was getting frustrated. I was like, man, why is this thing not working? It shouldn't be that difficult. And then as we were researching, as we were diving into it, I told you it was a networking issue, and we dug into it, kept going, and then boom, figured it out. And now we can move on with our lives to the next step, is to continue figuring it out. So probably next week we'll get it to work in Terraform, and then we'll be able to do the test of comparing which has the best price, right? So what I wanted to, the last thing the LinkedIn is the gift that keeps on giving, right? So the other thing I saw, right? Someone posted this on LinkedIn, and it said, I'm not going to expose anybody, but it said, a lot of people are complaining about not wanting to go back to an office. Companies should understand this. No one wants to commute 1 to 2 hours each way to an office to have Zoom meetings all day. Get home when your kids are already asleep, and repeat 5 days a week for the next 30 years. Sign me up for remote work. So all I'm going to say real quick about this, right? I love working remotely. However, I also understand that if remote work is not available, then I am going to take to the office. All right? If I have the opportunity to work hybrid, then I'm going to work hybrid. But if they say, hey, we need you in the office, I'm going to take to the office. All right? The whole thing with this, like, and when I said, people have this entitled mindset of, hey, you have to make it perfect for me. And here's the situation. While there are go-getters, there are tech mercenaries, tech barbarians, and bag chasers who are, if they're like, hey, if I have to go into the office to get to where I want to be, I'm going to go into the office to get to where I want to be. People who are talking about, oh, companies need to understand this and companies need to understand that. As long as people are signing up to work at the companies, then the companies are going to be in the position to say, hey, we want you in the office. If every single person says, hey, I am not going into the office whatsoever, then you have an opportunity there. But guess what? Who's going to go into the office? The people who are looking for the chance, for the opportunity. If you're trying to get into the field and they say, all right, we can give you a chance, but we're going to have to work with you. We're going to have to coach you. You're going to have to be in the office. Then you're going to have to get to the office, right? Like it's just like I said, I love working remotely. I work remotely every single day. But before I got the offer for this position that I'm in, I was like, all right. They said the offer that was I had a offer. They said you're gonna have to go to the office like 2 to 3 days a week. I'm like, all right, cool, no worries. I hate driving in traffic. I hate having to drive for an hour or so, whatever. But guess what? If you're driving for 1 to 2 hours each way, your options are, number one, find a closer job that you don't have to drive an hour or two each way, or live closer to your office. And it just depends. It depends. What are your goals? What are your intentions? If you are someone who is just starting out in the field, you do not have the you don't have what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have the leverage, the bargaining power to say, hey, I'm only going to do this if I can work remotely. Because guess what? There are 1,000 other people who want the same exact job that you want. And what I always tell people is find your way to get your foot in the door. Find a way to get past the gate. Sometimes you'll go to a program and they say, hey, you can start off doing, software engineering at $150,000 a year without any experience. And it's like, no, you're probably going to start off maybe around 60, 65 if you're lucky, entry level, if those opportunities are still even available. And then you're going to have to work your way up. Or you might have to start in some type of support role, help desk, something like that, where you're going to work your way in. And then once you're in the company, you can start networking with people who are you can network with a Mitch who's in data and says, hey, Mitch, can you take me under your wing? He's probably going to say no, right? Because Mitch is not the nicest person in the world, but that is something that you can do. And then you can start meeting with them, hanging around the people that you want to be like, right? Hanging around the true cool kids. And then as you build your career, now you might be able to have that leverage because if you're really, really good, you can make demands like LeBron James. Not in Miami because he was not able to get Eric Spoelstra fired, but in other places, you might be able to have that leverage, So think about that, build leverage. The goal is if you want to, whatever you want from a company, whatever you want from anybody, you have to build leverage. And without that leverage, then you're just going to be, please, you're going to be begging for a chance while you're saying, I must work remote because it is not fair until eventually you're going to be like,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
And
I hate it here. I want to go home.
And unfortunately, and I do not. I repeat, I do not. I don't want that for you. I want you to win. All right? So, with that being said, we are going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to go through the chat really, really quick so I can get caught up because I want to have fun too. You guys have so much fun in the chat and I'm like, oh, I want to have fun, but I'm over here working while you guys are having all this fun. So Mitch said, Slimmy, they have warehouse tech, supply chain tech, logistics tech. Not sure if you know that. I kind of knew that, but it wasn't at the top of mind. So that is a good point, Mitch. Shout out to Mitch. Hey. Meaning the softwares that they use. And Roxy said, I'm not into tech, but you have me motivated to find out ways to make nursing fun. See, that's what I'm talking about. Set up little challenges and stuff like that. That is going to be, make it yours. Make it yours. That's my only point. Make it yours. All right. And it says, there we go. That's what men lie, women lie. Numbers. What? Numbers do what, Mitch? They manipulate. He's so silly. And Roxy said they have Mitch says, Roxy, they have healthcare tech as well, clinical project managers, etc. When I was looking for a job last year, I was trying to get into this company where they were making clinical trial software, like where you can use it on the iPad and stuff. It was pretty cool. It was pretty. I was really looking forward to getting into that company, but they ghosted me. So they ghosted me. And I said to them,
congratulations, you played yourself.
And the Wealth Building Jerry said, seriously, you made a good point. Do what you love and work will never feel like work. Yup. I have so much fun at work. And Roxy said something to look into. Definitely look into that. And Mitch says, I don't know what you do or like, but I know nurses that got into project management on the healthcare side. That is a good point. That is a very, very good point. Products as well. And that's the thing, right? Like, tech is so massive because you can have like the software engineers, the QA people, the cybersecurity people, all of that stuff, right? But you also have the domain experts where if you're building some type of nursing app for example, having nurses who can provide that insight. Like if say you have a quote unquote like a technical nurse or someone who used to be a nurse, but they're in project management now for healthcare field, they're going to provide so much insight and stuff that a regular IT person isn't going to have that level of insight on, you know? So that's a very, very good point, Mitch. Very, very good point. And Jason hit us up with, who's gatekeeping you, coach? Get the strap. What? Oh my goodness. Who is gatekeeping me? I mean, you guys, right? You guys are gatekeeping me, making sure that I stay on my P's and Q's, and at work, like when I have to, like the standards, pretty much whoever sets the standards is who are the gatekeepers. And I love standards, and standards are something to work towards. Like I don't know. It's like staying within the bounds of high quality. You can be innovative, you can think critically, but you want to stay. You always want to have quality at the forefront. So that's what I'm thinking about. All right. And your car says, "Are you using L3?" That you might be referring to when I was struggling. I don't even know. Like I was just going all over the place. If you're referring to when I was during my struggles, I don't know. And which says, in general, I think people think they have to know everything: coding, data manipulation, software engineer, etc. Google is your friend. This is what stops most people from even starting. That is a fact. I always say, like, start with a small victory and build from there. I remember when I was doing the Flutter app, the first thing I did was, let's get something to load, and that loaded, and like, let's keep building upon that, keep building upon that, keep building upon that. That is the strategy of Agile, that's why I like Agile so much, because it Agile helps you have, like, Agile is like a game, right? Having these small small victories, that competitive nature of how much what's the word I'm looking for? How much can we do, and can we push our boundaries a little bit further, right? So that's a very, very good point, Mitch. And Ferris agrees. And let's see. So Wealth Building Journey says, no one knows everything there is to know about any topic before they get started. There is a fear of risk-taking issue. They fear looking stupid so deep down. It's an ego issue. That's a good point. And it's once you actually, it's funny. Once you actually start building the experience, you see how much that there is that you really don't know, and how much research you actually have to do in order to get stuff to work. If you know how many times like we have trial and error at work until we finally settle, and we have conversations over and over again about how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna do that, all that kind of stuff. And I like, you just have to try. And once you get one thing working, it's just gonna cascade. And then, like, the past, like today, this is a perfect example. Today I spent majority of the stream like researching and stuff like that to try to figure out, okay, why is this thing not working? And then when I saw the HTTPS, and we looked at it earlier today too, but when I saw it keeps on putting it there, I'm like, okay, so this is what seems like it's going on. And then we went in, we dug into that, and we said, oh, okay, we got it, we figured it out. And I love the term, I got it, we figured it out, and now we know what to do. So that is a very, very good point, the wealth building journey. And Mitch says, seriously though, I think it's good that you show this. Most people would move on or edit the video to make it look like they know everything. And that is exactly why I started the channel, because so many times, like, oh, it's such an easy process. Oh, tech is so easy. I like, as hard as it is, I love to show the actual challenges that, like I said the other day at work, there was this upgrade that we were trying to do that it's been haunting us for over a month now. And every time, so we actually got it deployed, but then it's like little things creep in there that we would have never thought of to test. And then, so then we go and we have to fix it. We have to patch it up. But if you hear it from some other people, some other places, like, oh yeah, it's so easy. And we just, and I just like, I'm able to, it's so easy. I'm able to work 5 jobs at the same time. Like, show me some W-2s. Show me some W-2s. Like, I don't see how it's possible to work 5 tech jobs at the same time, because it's enough. Like, it's enough with one, like, geez. Right. And we say, so Mitch says, exactly, but you know, in our world, how it can be scared before you even start. Yep. And give up before you start. That too. That too. And your car says, I'm just catching up, so I don't know if you have your alias is equal true or if you have your target correct in your alias target line. It was a mess. It was a mess. But it turned out I had to add a listener to the target group. I had to add a listener to the load balancer for the HTTPS. And then I had to in the security group, I had to also add HTTPS as well. And then that everything started working out there. I should have known it because I had the same issue when I was doing it with Elastic Beanstalk. I should have known, but following the guide and not all my fault, totally my fault. But it's all good. It's all good. And your load balancer should be your alien. Yep, you are 100% right. 100% right. Like I should have known it because I had the same exact issue like 3 months ago or 2 months ago, whatever it was. But it is what it is. That's how we learn. That is how we learn. We need to master all domains of IT. That is a fact, Ferris. We need to master all domains. No.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
We do not. It's impossible. It is totally impossible. Like you can't even master everything of AWS on its own because AWS has like so many different services. So, whew, right? And so this must have been around the time where I got it, right? This must have been around the time where I got it. There goes Slimmy. We got Slimmy in the building. We got Jason. And that boy hit that layup, not 35 feet layup. You are hilarious. You are hilarious. And Matic12 said, hello team, getting ahead over the weekend. Shout out to you, Matic. Okay, cool. And let's see. you see what I gotta do with your car. You see, and then he threatens to take his talents to another channel. You believe that? You believe that? Just like buzzer beater tech coach Ralph for the win. See, and see that part is the fun part. We said this yesterday. Tech is not easy, but it can be very, very fun if you make it like you get. Like I'm gonna talk about it on Friday, but gamifying it, right? We have the timers, we have the lights, we have the sound, we have the soundboard. I use my soundboard at work for myself, just so I'm like, when I do something good, and when I mess up, I play the. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. So let's see. We got Mitch said. Thank you, Ferris. Thank you. If you don't have the choice, then you can't make demands. Like it's simple math, right? Simple math. And Mitch says, I'm hybrid. And most like the people who work in the city, like of the headquarters, they're pretty much hybrid, but they get to like pretty much make their own schedule. And your car says, facts, I'm using their electricity and drinking their coffee. For real, right? And their high-speed internet and their fiber optics internet, right? And somebody says, get the bag how you can. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Saving on that light bill. Tough. Exactly. I'll tell you a story too, right? Around maybe 2 months ago, we were working on some stuff. And I was like, I didn't even realize I was downloading a bunch of like gigs on a daily basis. And then I got a notice from Comcast like, hey, you're almost over your data limit. I'm like, what? I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm gonna outsource this part to somebody else because I'm not trying to go over my data. Now I have unlimited data, but at the time I was like, eh. And I told New Jersey that's normal. 45 minutes to 2 hours one way for most people. That is crazy. That is crazy. I could not do that. I would just have to move. I would have to move. And let's see. Bear said, would you say getting a remote job in most cases is a trusting? Not any company is willing to give equipment to some random. It might be part of it. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a trust thing. I think if you are more experienced, you might be more inclined to get the remote thing. But another thing is there are some security risks depending on what the company does as well. So some companies they won't allow you to work remotely because of security issues and things like that. So it just depends on the company. I don't know if it's necessarily because there are companies that hire people remotely. Like I was hired remotely. They sent me a laptop and everything like that. It's hard to say. It's really hard because there are people who work in the office who do bad things just as much as if they were doing it at home. So I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question. And 150 starting with that's what they tell them. That's what they tell them. All right. That's what they tell them. And I don't know if I mentioned this tomorrow, but they're like, if you are transitioning into a role, right? Not even into a role, into a career. So let's say you were going from making $75,000 doing whatever it is, $75,000 a year doing whatever it is that you're doing, right? And now you want to get into tech because in totality, like you were talking about on Tech Niche Tips yesterday, where as a product manager, you could be making like 125, 150, 250, 350 and above, right? But entry level, it's most likely you're not going to be making that. But so let's say you have to go back from 75 to like 60 to get into the field. Are you willing to take that $15,000 pay cut in order to maybe in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, double that? That is the question. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. They're like, oh, I can't take this $15,000 pay cut, this $25,000 pay cut, which I know in about 3 years, I might triple that amount of money. So that is a question. That is a question that I always wonder. And Ferris said, I only got remote job because my director trusted me. They did what? They did what? And which says it depends on the company. And Ferris says $150K after a boot camp. That's a fact though. And it says, don't believe Ralph, I'm the nice one. Sometimes. And I think we are almost at the end. Not that I'm in a I got them all. I got them all.
Bruh.
And how dare they soundbite? Oh yeah? Is that what you think? Is it?
How dare you?
They did, you know, but it was all good. It was all good in the hood. And it says, I'll keep those. Yep, definitely. Like what I mentioned earlier today as well to me, keep that in mind. As you are working your way through the tech field, see the things like what is the what's something that's going to help me, and then connect. Like, you're a bag chaser, so you are connected with a bunch of tech people. You got your car, you got me, you got the wealth building journey, you got Victor Williams Jr. All of us, like, and we need to have more tech talks, right? We need to have more tech talks of like I'm doing here, but we can do we can do it in the chats and stuff like that. Have more tech talks so we can collaborate more and think of more ideas and stuff like that. I think that'll be really, really good. And let's see, Mitch is getting deep here. I'm sure you're using some RFID system from some company, so look into whatever scanner or whatever you use. Look at that company. That is a good point. Oh, that is gold right there. Where is my I need this one.
Message.
That is a message right there. Think about that for real. And let's see. So Mitch says, you see how much the people around you don't know. That is everyone reading books, Google AI. And that's so Ferris says, I always respect people that say they don't know the answer, then pose like they do. And for me, I might not know, but I write it down. I'm going to research it. The Wealth Building Journey said something earlier. I'm going to look at that about, I forgot what it was called already. It is called, look into Zero Trust Architecture. I'm going to look at that later this week. And then we'll talk about that because now you got me curious. All right. And we are almost at the end. So Mitch says, even had me issue even had an issue the other day. I couldn't figure it out. So one of the coworkers helped me. That's how it works. Like I am quick to say, hey, I need some help with something, right? And Roxy says, soundboard at work. Nice idea. I don't know if as a nurse you can get a soundboard, but that would be super, super cool. That would be super cool if you could get a soundboard as a nurse. And Mitch says, I would take the pay cut, but depends on the situation. But again, $75K, you will be paying for gas, tolls, etc. You at a tech company, you might not be paying that much, possibly. Or like, if a lot of times, if you really want to like transition to like another field, another career, and you have to restart over again, you might have to like find a way to get some additional income while you get back to where you were, because you will surpass. Like, if let's say you were a teacher, right, and you capped out at like 60K. Now you're transitioning into tech, and now, but the entry level role that you're going, it starts you off at like 45K, 50K, but you're capped at 60 as a teacher. But if you go into this new career starting at like 45, 50, in a few years, you'll probably get at like, 80, 90, 100. And if you keep growing in that field, or you keep going up into more complex areas in tech, you're looking at like maybe 150, 200 if you get into management, stuff like that. But because of you couldn't take that current 15K drop, you're going to handicap yourself for the rest of your life. And now you're going to be stuck at that 60K forever. Instead of saying, okay, can I downgrade my lifestyle for a little bit, for a year or 2, 3 years until now, or can I find a way to make some additional income? So that's the thing. So that's the thing that I always think. You have to think about like the future. You can't only think about next year. You have to think about 10 years down the road, And I make use of everything. All right. So depends. Get that cost calculator. If you want to be a beta tester for the time cost calculator, the link is in the chat. Send me your email and fill out the form. It'll send me your email and if you're on iOS or Android, and I will get you added as a tester. That is right. Thank you so much, Mitch, for reminding me. And says, have you ever tried I can't even say it. See, you in the wealth building journey are trying to get me caught up with these words, right? Sanusis, Ryu Jujutsu, I don't even know what that is, but I'll look it up. I will look it up and I will let you know next stream. And Richard, I'm not about the foolish. We need more tech talks and agile work. Consider it done. We will get that happening. And I got it. I have it written down. Zero trust architecture. And that is it. We are at the end of our chat. I have to jump over to my Tech Barbarians Scrum Night tonight, where we are wrapping up our sprint and we're going to get started on the next one. So I want to say thank you all for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching me struggle through this to find one little thing to do, right? I spent almost 3 hours to figure out one little thing, but the journey is all worth it. And now we will know for the future. We are going to instill it into our mind. All right. So, and let me see what the Wealth Building Tree says. I believe the next thing is going to be implementing security into native code. That seems to be the basic ZTA. That would be really cool. There is a push in quality assurance to get the whole organization more quality minded. Now there needs to be a push to get the whole organization more security minded as well. That's going to be really, really cool. That is going to be really, really cool. Jason says, I want to start learning agile from scratch. What do you recommend? So I would recommend start off getting some general videos on YouTube about agile. Then look on Udemy for some agile videos. Like when I got this agile course called Testing in Agile, which gave you a good overview of agile, and then how to perform as a quality assurance in agile. But whatever it is that your role is, I would say look for that. And there's some general courses in agile as well. Let me get back to you on that. Let me write it down so I can get back to you on that to see what are some good resources. But I would say definitely start off with a YouTube search, and then also a Udemy search. And Yeah, I'll say start off with that. But I'm writing it down. Agile resources. All right, I got to read it down. Remind me next stream to touch back on that. I'm going to look up some resources for that. All right, and let's see. Is the Tech Barbarians? No, that's not another live stream. That is my personal coaching group that I'm guiding some people into the software development process, QA. Most of them are doing QA. The software development process. So we do our Agile night every other Sunday night, where we are going over the work that we're wrapping up the last sprint, the development work that we did. We do our sprint retrospective to see how the last sprint went and how we can make the next one better. And then we plan our next stories and we start the sprint. And we just have every 2 weeks. That's what we're working on. All right. And Mitch says Udemy. Yep. Like I said. And all right, cool. So with that being said, I'm gonna say as well, Slimmy, the pleasure was all mine. As you're a real cool person, Slimmy. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right. So with that being said, I have a question for you guys because we had so much fun. But I have a question for you. The question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
are you not entertained? I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time as well. And of course, yesterday's price is not today's price, and today's price is not tomorrow's price.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up. What brick is that? The brick is our knowledge, our money. We work here, right? But on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have a amazing night. See you guys on the Millionaire Morning Show tomorrow. Later.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Spartans! What is your profession?